Let's go. We actually have footage. Unlike last time when I forgot that again for the first like 10 minutes. Do we love trading or battling? I don't have any friends, so I'm more of a battling kind of person. I don't remember where we're supposed to be going. But that is what the bottom screen is for, actually, now that I think about it, because why would you ever need to figure anything out on your own again? That's, again, why we have a bottom screen, because the game isn't too easy, is it? We're gonna get in some trouble at some point. Namely that being the totem Pokemon, which are going to be absolutely horrible. It's Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you have the bottom screen. But yeah, how is everybody? I'm gonna get into how my week was in a moment. Once I am sure that... I don't think anything here is important, right? Because this is all tutorial stuff. My week's just generally been busy. And still is. I recorded a couple of videos today. Most of the video recording for this week is going to happen tomorrow. Because I do need to record a couple of Pokemon videos. Still haven't decided what to actually like do after 30 years. So maybe we'll decide that here, right now, right here, live, today. And then I recorded a... What did I record? I recorded a Minecraft video, automatic pumpkin farm, which is a very nice, fun little design, which I also use in my own survival world. I recorded 3 videos. I recorded the Vanitas video. Yeah, that's it. And then I also recorded one more video. A spotlight video, Party Hard 2. I actually, against all odds, I did get a code for Party Hard 2. And I was like, we're definitely, to be fair, I have gotten codes from that specific publisher quite a lot before. They're apparently just an easy publisher to get codes from. So, or maybe they have like a database with people they've given codes to before, and it's easier even for bigger games to get those codes, because Party Hard 2 isn't a small unknown game. Party Hard was a pretty popular game on Twitch and outside of Twitch when it initially was released. So I'm kind of surprised that they even gave me that, to be honest. But I recorded a spotlight on that, and it's a really fun game. It's not a game I'm particularly good at. But it is a fun game. It's kind of like 2D Hitman, honestly. It's kind of like pixel art Hitman, is what I should say. And it's fun. So I recorded that, and then tomorrow some Pokemon and one more Kingdom Hearts video. The last video for Ventus is on the schedule. And I also have to like still do some work related to like some editing work. Because I just didn't have the time to get everything done during the week itself. So that's been my week in a nutshell. Good luck with deciding maybe one of the spin-off games. I have been thinking that, but there's not that many spin-off games that I've not already done at this point. There's Pokemon Conquest, which there is an argument for Pokemon Conquest, but I'm kind of 50-50 on that because there is a lot of reading involved in that, and that isn't particularly like my greatest skill. Might as well just pick up these stickers when we see them, right? We can't yet, never mind. So Pokemon Conquest has been on my mind because I've started that game like 4 times and I've never completed it. And maybe doing a series on it, and this is where we get the sticker thing. Maybe if I start a Let's Play on it, I'll actually complete the game. Because I do like the game. I just, for one reason or another, never complete it. Another thing I've been thinking about is Pokemon Ranger. I don't have like a setup where I can do that properly in an emulator, so I'd have to do the touch controls with my mouse, which might be slightly like awkward and weird to do. But Pokemon Ranger, maybe I'd do Shadows of Olmia just because it has a little bit of a higher tolerance for mistakes than the original Pokemon Ranger. But those are the like 2-3 games. Guardian Signs is just not an option. Those are the 2 or 3 games I've been considering. as far as spin-off goes. And then I've been thinking maybe a Totodile solo run of a game, and I was thinking Pokemon Crystal because Totodile is just one of the starters of that game. So that's another option I've been considering. And I'm like skipping at least one series worth of Nuzlocke. I'll get back to doing Nuzlockes, but at the time, like this time, I kind of just want to do a series which is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill, and just a little bit more fun. So that I can, you know, focus a little bit on the commentary and just like talking about goofy shit. And don't have to worry as much about, do we just fight you? Yeah, we do. Which technically this is an encounter in a new area, I'm pretty sure. So we can actually steal one of your Pokemon. You need to remember, this is a Theftlocke. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Totodile only run. I'd have to have a edited ROM for that though. So maybe, but probably not right now. So yeah. Conquest is quite short if you only do one campaign. It is a possibility. It is. XD is unlikely. Rumble, I've done the original Rumble like 2 or 3 times at this point. I'm kind of done with that game. But I could look into how the 3DS Rumble game, Rumble Blast I think that's called, right? Works on emulators by now. I mean, I do have a 3DS capture card, so worst comes to worst, but I'm not going to buy the game just for the Let's Play. So yeah, I'm just, if I'm going to play it, I'm going to pirate it. So that is maybe an option. Pokemon Dash? No. No. Pokemon Dash is an abomination. I'm leaning mostly towards Ranger, honestly. I'm just not sure if I want to do Ranger or Shadows of Almia. Because Shadows of Almia is a significantly better game. And as I said before, it... I didn't catch your Pokemon. Well, I guess we fucked that up. I don't even know what Pokemon it was. I just returned it and then it died. So Shadows of Almia has a little bit more trial and like room for error. Not trial and error, room for error. Because if your line gets broken, the Pokemon has like an HP bar, right? Kind of. Which I think would work better with the control scheme that I'd be using in an emulator. But it would also be a fairly tiring thing to record, I'm sure. Like an hour of just like moving my mouse around like that. I don't know. Had a pretty good week. Was on a recording holiday with a couple of friends. Recorded a lot of games. Now to spend a weekend and the next week editing and YouTube administration. I know that feeling. I caught up on some uploads today as well. It always feels good after uploading like a bunch of videos at the same time. Seeing your YouTube, like your video line up, the scheduled videos. And just having like half a page or if you do more, I like an entire page, more than an entire page of things just ready to go. Which you don't have to worry about anymore. That does remind me, I did not schedule the tweets and Facebook posts regarding those videos I uploaded today yet. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure they've finished uploading. Have I been dropping any frames? Because if not, they're probably done uploading. Yeah, they're done uploading. I should schedule those tweets after the stream. I don't need Leah. I said I don't need Leah. Keep old moves. Yeah, YouTube really ought to have a just copy all the metadata from this video button. They do have it for end screens. You can, when you're doing end screens, you can just say copy from this other video. And that's amazing because at this point I only have I have the same end screens on every single video, and it's a subscribe button and a most interesting for this viewer button. The like YouTube algorithm decides what to show them. That's everything I have on my end screens at this point, on every single video I do. So I can just copy from literally any video. It would be nice if you could do that in bulk. I understand why you can't, from like a design perspective, from a user experience perspective. But it would be nice to have that. It would be even nicer if you could just like say copy description and tags from this video onto these 20 videos. That would be even fucking better. Okay, so let's actually switch out our lead Pokemon because this is not where I want to be. Can I please leave? I don't want to pat my Pokemon. I want to leave. My Pokemon won't even let me leave this screen. It's horrible. Anyway, my Pokemon. I'm not going to be using Karen until it evolves, and Hoppy actually still has the lowest level, so we're going to be leading with Hoppy. I mean, end screens, they don't do that much because it's nice to have, and certainly on videos that get more views, they do tend to do something. But what a lot of people like overestimate in end screens is end screens are by nature at the end of the video. And at the end of the video means that most people who like put on your video, especially if it's a longer video, aren't even going to get to that point. They're not even going to get to that point. And then the people who actually get to that point in the video, like if 1 out of 10 people, but let's be weird about it. If 1 out of 10 people grab it by the horns? Probably don't like that, right? You like that? Okay, that's weird. If you have 100 people watching, right? Let's say 1,000. Actually, let's say 1,000. If your video has 1,000 views, and 10% of those people get to the end of the video, which isn't unreasonable to assume as a percentage, and then about 1 or 2% of those people who actually reach the end of the video end up clicking on the end screen, on 1,000 views, that's 1 or 2 clicks. It's really not that much. But then again, if your video has like 10, 20, 30,000 views, and it might generate a subscriber that way, in the long term, it might be worth it. But by and large, they don't really do that much. Apparently Tauros likes being grabbed by the horns. I don't understand. I was assuming the first one was going to be a faction, the second one was just going to be weird as fuck, and the third one was going to make him mad. Turns out the third one, grabbing him by the horns, he likes it. He likes it a lot. Which, that actually then weirds me out a little bit, not gonna lie. I've been killing all these goddamn potential encounters. I came up with this challenge, and I'm failing horribly at it. I've not been keeping up with much, if any, gaming news, so I'll be very interested to hear what kind of news there is. I mean, I did hear about the... I did watch the Final Fantasy 16 trailer, and I talked about that a little bit in Discord, and it's got a way to go. Let's just say that. And then I watched the Harry Potter trailer, and that one actually looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, that one's got me pretty hyped. What else is there? There was some Nintendo Direct, which I don't think was anything important because I haven't heard anything from it. It was a Direct Mini, wasn't it? People always get upset when anything Nintendo related happens and it's not the next Pokemon or the next Mario game. Like, it's not gonna be revolutionary every single month. Calm the fuck down. Legends 5 trailers are you're aware of. Also, the new game prices being 80. Sorry? Is that Canadian dollars? 80 bucks? I mean, I know consoles have always been more expensive than PC games. But that is frankly just ridiculous. And I'm assuming that the used market is absolutely just got yeeted away this time, right? Because if there is still going to be a used market for games for the PlayStation 5, that's suddenly, like that $20 difference from about $60 to $80 a game makes it worthwhile to actually get the disc-based version and not a digital-only one. Because at that point you just gotta buy like 5 games for $60 used, and it's probably gonna be less than $60. And you've made your money back on that. Sniper Elite 3? Really? Okay, that's weird. Rune Factory? Is that a new Rune Factory? Because that actually sounds interesting. If it's a new... okay, catch this one. We gotta catch this one. I don't know if I have Pokeballs, but we gotta catch it. America will have a $70 price for each game. Europe will have €80. That is too much. I know inflation is a thing, and these games are getting more and more difficult to develop as well as technology becomes more complicated. Because if you have to render like a billion more polygons, that's a billion more polygons that also were created. I understand that to a certain extent. A lot of that is generated and not manually made. But, and they just like can generate at a higher fidelity at this point. But there is more work involved in these higher definition, more like impressive looking games. Making an entire 3D model takes more time than making a 2D 16-bit sprite. That is just a fact. I understand that. So I understand they do become more like costly to make. And beyond a certain point, let's give you... what are we going to name this Drowsy? Oh, Rune Factory 5, new one. That got me... That's actually got me hyped, because I always like Rune Factory. I've played every single one. One is a little bit iffy, but other than that, I've played them all. And they're always so good. Oh yeah, Ori and the Will of Wisp also Switch, also Ori Collection for Switch. I've got, I think, both on Steam anyway. What are we gonna call this, fucker? Triper? I feel like I'm missing a reference here, but sure. You know what? Capital A, we'll take it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be very interested to learn more about the potentiality of used games on the PlayStation 5. And how Xbox deals with... I mean, I'm still not going to go to Xbox because of all the like, I'm used to PlayStation. I'm used to PlayStation controllers. Usually the PlayStation exclusives, or at least like timed exclusives for PlayStation, are more like in the general area of what I like. So I'll probably end up getting a PlayStation 5 no matter what. But I am really curious to learn more about the used games thing, because if that will influence my buying decision. If used games are a thing on PS5, that's the only reason that the disc-based version of the console is worth anything. Because I don't give a shit about owning the disc to a game anymore. I just don't. The argument of, oh, but I can play it after like the support and the service for the game go down, just isn't relevant anymore. Because by and large, you have the game on your console and you can play it, and like for a lot of the games you're playing, if you don't have an internet connection anyway, there's starting to be more DRM on that anyway. So even if you have a disc, it's pretty much just a coaster at that point. It's a very expensive one, apparently $80 or 80 euros. We need to wait on the news for the new Switch hardware, otherwise Switch will be my main console for the current gen. I don't know if this is fair to say, but I always like see Nintendo's console as not really being part of a normal generational cycle. It always releases a little bit offset from the other two, and it doesn't seem to directly compete with them that much either. So, I don't know. Revives. I can't use that, but it's nice money. My entire Switch game collection, with the exception of Pokemon, Smash, Mario Kart, is completely digital. Yeah, I mean, I own Kingdom Hearts 3 on a physical disc because I own every Kingdom Hearts game physically, and I will likely also buy Melody of Memories physically. But that's just because, specifically for Kingdom Hearts, I've always bought them physically, and I'm gonna probably keep doing that just because that's the exception to the rule. Other than that, all my games are digital. Of course, Steam is most of my games, but also on the PlayStation itself. I don't know what I have on it right now. A lot of it is through PlayStation Plus, admittedly, which oh, we need to do a thing here. Which obviously will be digital, but also, like, I got some other stuff on there which is digital. Not a lot, admittedly. I also have Crash and Sane Trilogy physically, because at that point I didn't have a PlayStation 4 Pro, and my normal PlayStation 4 didn't have a lot of storage capacity, so I figured the less storage capacity I have to use on games, the better it is, so let's get this physically, just so I have a disc. I don't know if that actually saves on storage space, now that I think about it. Probably does. I'm assuming that it does. Why else do you need a fucking disc? Unless it's literally just installation files to put it on your PlayStation, which it very well could be. But then it also has authentication on it, just like, because you do need to put it in. So it probably has some game data on the disc. Surely, right? Anyway, this is the first trial. But I always see PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo as the only console makers. But seeing PlayStation, Xbox as the console gen seems a bit exaggerated. I mean, they are always... I think there's no disagreeing on the fact that PlayStation and Xbox, just like as far as console generations go, they are leading in terms of pure horsepower and like computing performance. Nintendo always, in every case imaginable, has had less powerful hardware. Which is also why I feel like they're not really competing with the other two, because they are after something entirely different. They don't care about the most realistic looking graphics with like 5 septillion teraflops of computing power. That's not what they care about. They use that computing power in fun, weird, sometimes not so fun, innovative ways. So I see them as an entirely separate being from the other two. The other two are trying to corner the same market, while Nintendo is trying to corner at least an adjacent market. I'm not saying a different one, but an adjacent one. I mean, of course there is a certain amount of competition to it, because they're all game consoles and they're all selling games. But even down to, and lately, admittedly, Nintendo has been stepping more into the normal mainstream gaming industry, but even stepping into like what type of games are generally found on those consoles. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But I'm going to be that guy, and that is, I don't think things like FIFA exist on the Switch, do they? Maybe they do, but I don't think it's a big thing on the Switch, if they do. While the Switch library is pretty much geared towards weebs. More or less. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I am so upset it's a limited order. Limited time order. FIFA 18-21 is on the Switch. But, okay. I'd be interested to see the sales for the Switch version compared to the other two versions in that case. But I didn't honestly know that they were on the Switch to begin with. It makes sense that they're on the Switch because everything is on the Switch at this point. But still. But yeah, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, it's a game that we all wanted and we all knew was coming at some point because we all wanted it. And if we're vocal enough about it, we know that Nintendo listens after about 5 years every single time. So, who knows, maybe Pokemon will be good in a couple of years again. Unlikely. I forgot how this puzzle works. So, how does this puzzle work? But yeah, I'm not a great fan of the idea of it's not going to be in here. I'm not a huge fan of the limited release. I understand that you're not going to print cartridges or like print CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays these days, I guess, infinitely for a anniversary type thing. But a digital release is literally like taking up some server space, sure, but I can't imagine that, like having one game up in the servers for a store that's just operating in general. It's not like when they decided to take down the Wii store, right? Because nobody was using it anymore. The store itself is operational. I can't imagine that having one more game on there is a very heavy burden for that server. Admittedly, I'm no expert at this, but I just have a hard time imagining that it's motivated by anything other than artificial scarcity, and that annoys me. So yeah, I am not a fan of that. Pokemon needs to go back to its roots and get the directors from Gen 5 back, not Masuda or I don't even know that other name. You could argue that Gen 5 is not even its roots, but at this point I feel like Pokemon it has kind of like, I don't want to say it's peaks, because people thought that after Gen 2 that it had peaked, and then Pokemon Go happened. So it's probably gonna like come back up into what's your problem? It's probably gonna come back up in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like the main series games ever since Gen 6, honestly, have kind of had a forced gimmick to them every single time, and they've just got a formula in which they're like, okay, this time we have Mega Evolution, and now we have Z moves, now we have Gigantamaxing, and that is what makes us original. And it's like, that's not what originality is. And as a matter of fact, it even distracts from you actually designing a game. Because they don't design the game. They make a map, and they play some trainers in it, and they come up with a stupid ass gimmick, and they call it a day. I am still so hard rooting for them to like pull a Call of Duty on Pokemon and have a development cycle which is like twice as long and just pass it off between 2 different studios. Because Game Freak is doing it every single time now, and Game Freak, first and foremost, needs to feel that if they fuck up, they might just not get Pokemon, the development for Pokemon anymore. I think that gives them some good motivation. But they also just probably need more time and or money allocated to their projects. Oh, no, I'm not starting from the start over again, are you crazy? So I feel like that would help out. I also feel like with the amount of money Pokemon makes, the Pokemon company could probably like just give a little bit more budget to the games, because I feel like a lot of the issues we have are also based on a lack of budget and not a lack of Game Freak. I mean, Game Freak does fuck up a lot of things, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a bigger budget would solve a lot of the issues. Not all of them, but a decent amount of them. But still, the idea of Pokemon not always being developed by Game Freak also would help to like shake up a little bit what Pokemon is and make it not so samey every single time. It would it's what reinvigorated Call of Duty when they added a 3rd studio to the mix. They're like, oh, we now have 3 years per game to make this. We have 3 different studios, so by the time you roll around to getting a game from the same studio again, it'll have been 3 years and it doesn't feel as samey every single time, even though the games might still be fairly samey if you just play the games from one specific studio back to back to back. You have more variety in between. And I'm sure Game Freak would also love to be able to have a yearly release schedule for these games. They've been trying real hard to get that, but not quite, right? If they just put a couple more studios on it on a rotation basis, and it might like legally be an issue because Game Freak holds the rights to the Pokemon designs, I think, something like that, so another studio might not be able to use those, or it might like cost even more money if they were to do that, because then they would have to license Game Freak for the designs, and it would all be like a weird clusterfuck. But in an ideal world where that's not an issue, I'd very much like to see that. The trials were a nice idea, and that kind of thing I'd like to see more of. Other than the fact that in a Nuzlocke format it's absolutely horrible for me. But I like the trials. I like the trials a lot. I'm so happy that they did something that wasn't just go through 8 gyms and then the Elite Four. Disarming Voice. That's gonna help a lot, because it's also a multi-target move. I didn't even realize that. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. That's gonna be an issue. Do I have potions? That could be useful. Have a fresh water. Game Freak, main game, second studio remakes, let's go, Gen 4. Third studio spin-off, Mystery Dungeon, let Game Freak rest, maybe that will help. I don't even think that would necessarily be a good idea to have it on that, like, that loop. I honestly think that they should just, like... I mean, you shouldn't make a generation only 1 or 2 years long. That would be a little bit, like, too short. So it's not like... fuck. But what I'm thinking is, like... Give Game Freak the first game. Out of the, like... Let Game Freak start off a new gen. I'm in trouble here. A new generation. And then let 2 other studios with those same sets of Pokemon, maybe even within the same region, make a game within that. It could be a lot cheaper because a lot of the design has already been done, but make like an, I don't want to say Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon type of deal, but make like other games, not following the same story, but just like make different games in those same areas with those same Pokemon. And have that on a 3-year development cycle. Then a generation could last like 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Because you can also like throw in a remake there, which you can like... Maybe you do Game Freak, other studio, remake, other studio, spin-off, new gen. So you have a 5-year cycle on a generation, something like that, right? It's just something that I'm coming up with right now, so it would need a little bit more work than that, obviously. But I think there's a lot of opportunities there to improve the general quality of the games and also just create something more like interesting there. I mean, generations at the moment, how long is the average Pokemon generation? I feel like the average Pokemon generation has gone down from like 4 or 5 years to 3 years. Pokemon generations length. Approximately 3 to 5 minutes. That seems about correct. That's not what I meant. Pokemon release dates. Let's see, this gives me a good timeline. Okay, so Red and Green were released in 1996, and then Gold and Silver came about 3 years later already. And then Ruby and Sapphire was about 3 years after that again. Then Diamond and Pearl were about 4 years. Black and White were another 4 years. X and Y was 3 years. Sun and Moon was 3 years, and Sword and Shield was 3 years. So generations have always been about 3 to 4 years. I very much like enjoy it if they could keep up that same pace and just have different studios on it. So let's see. Probably get rid of Growl. Sun and Moon was released in 2016, Sword and Shield in 2019. Yeah, so it's 3 years for a generation. That's the same length between Gen 1 and 2. So it hasn't really gotten shorter. There's like 1 or 2 generations in there which got another year. But it's always been about 3 years between generations. At least from what I can find on Wikipedia. That doesn't give me months. I'm assuming they release those games fairly close together. Like towards the end of the month, end of the year. Each time, though I don't know that. We completed a trial and only lost 1 Pokemon, which is amazing. Probably should have used that Roda boost at the very start. That probably could have helped. But I got a Z Crystal, which I can now give to Lopunny, because why not? Yeah, the poses are a little bit weird. Not gonna lie. They're a little bit weird. Also going back to other messages. Sword and Shield did fun things with the gyms. They really tried to make you feel like they did, but just like going over the gyms themselves, they're not that interesting, right? I mean, what's the most interesting gym in Sword and Shield? It might very well be the fairy type gym, because it's a quiz. It's a weird ass fucking quiz at that. I like that. Then I'm really questioning the philosophy of Pokemon for now. I do not mind Let's Go games as are quite fun and casual, but want more content in my main Pokemon games. Yeah, the issue there is that they kind of like started doing that in Gen 4 and 5, and then stopped doing that in Gen 6, 7, and 8. And now that we've gotten it like twice, we kind of feel like we're missing it when we don't get it, and that is entirely fair. But I feel like it's not the amount of content available that is necessarily the issue in these games. I feel like it's more so there's no substance to the content that is actually there. Ghost fighting gym parkour with teacups. But it's not really parkour, is it? Because you don't really have a jumping button. So it is still just like walking up to the edge and watching an animation play. So they make you feel like you're doing something interesting and different, but really you're only watching a different animation after pressing the A button. Which is not that different. And I don't necessarily always... Oh, that's a Noibat. That's a pretty rare encounter if I recall correctly. It's steering a giant teacup through a course. Oh, that thing! Yeah, but that's more like Plinko than parkour. Yeah, okay, that thing is a little bit more interesting. I'll give you that. That is more interesting. Not to say that gyms in the past have been uninteresting. I mean, the very simple mechanics sometimes can make for interesting gyms. I very much liked the Emerald version of the Tate and Lisa gym in, well, Pokemon Emerald. Not so much the original Team Rocket tile-based Puzzle and Ruby and Sapphire, but Emerald did a very good job with that. And I also like the idea of Norman's gym, where you can, the idea, not necessarily the execution, where you can choose, maybe I'll go into this room, because that feels like I'm better equipped for it than the other room. And you can check, do I want to go into the one KO move room? No, I'm doing a Nuzlocke. There's no way I'm going into an OKO room. It's just not happening. And now I'm going in, but this is like the special defense room, so I'm going to need to use my physical attackers. Things like it's a very nice idea, and those are both in Hoenn, I just realized. So let's think about another one. Lieutenant Surge Gym in Kanto, it's amazing. It's probably the best designed gym in the entire series, because it's fully RNG and fully bullshit. Yeah, now Gen 1 didn't have any good gyms. Gen 1 had only bad gyms. Brock, boring. Misty, boring. Lieutenant Surge, actually offensive. Erica, almost acceptable. Sabrina is infuriating. What an interesting concept, I'll admit. Koga is very confusing if you don't look properly at the sprites and see the invisible walls. Blaine is an interesting idea, having like the... if you get the answer wrong, you need to battle, but otherwise you can get to Blaine without fighting a single trainer. And then Giovanni is not bad. I feel like in Gen 3 is where gyms really started to become interesting, because Gen 2 also doesn't have that many interesting gyms. Black and White still the most fun gyms with picking types, library. I don't like the library one, but it is interesting. The honey maze. I like the honey maze. The roller coaster. Yeah, I don't like the roller coaster, personally. The elevators, I do like those. The cannons confuse the heck out of me, but they're fun. Sliding puzzles and the giant dragons. The giant dragons really is probably my favorite, even though I did lose through the years there. Let the world live. Yeah, I feel like Sword and Shield is the perfect example of wide as an ocean but shallow as a pool. It's kind of like, it's got Skyrim syndrome. And it is, look at this gigantic map we have. There's nothing in it. If you made the map about like 20% the size and kept everything that was in the map, the game would like instantly become twice as enjoyable. I mean, having fun culture and lore is okay, but it doesn't make for a very fun and replayable game. You know what? Let's just fight this trainer. And Sun and Moon are probably some of the least replayable games in the series. Maybe Sword and Shield also. Probably Sword and Shield more so, I'd actually argue, because they do feel the need to interrupt the gameplay every goddamn 3 seconds to have a cutscene. Which is slightly annoying for replayability. A simple skip cutscene button fixes a lot of replayability issues there, of course, but whereas it's not as simple to fix the pacing issues in Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, admittedly. Isle of Armor is a good direction. There's some side quests like searching 151 Diglets. That sounds painful. With some with Pokemon's rewards for each increment. That, yeah, developing the dojo, upgrading the bike, and exploring the granary. Granary? That's not even a word. Wow. Yeah, that all sounds like fun post-game content, and I don't know. I feel like Pokemon doesn't really know what it wants to be is the issue, because Pokemon's always been a fairly linear, somewhat linear, JRPG, but mostly based on mechanics and less so on story. But when those mechanics get old, what do you do? It's a very good... I don't know why I did that. That was stupid. Nuke and Granny. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. I just... like, my eyes have AIDS or something. I don't know. Let's go in here. I mean, it doesn't have to be... for any given area, it doesn't have to be big. It just has to have, like, stuff to do inside of it. Yeah, okay. So, Gen 1 after Lavender Town, you can do pretty much, like, the next 3 gyms in any order you want. But that is also like... oh, that's nice. That's also like the only example of non-linearity in the entire Pokemon series, other than the 4... like, in Johto they also do something like that with, I think, Jasmine and Price, I think is his name. You can do in opposite order. And as a matter of fact, it actually makes the game easier to do it that way, in my experience. So, but I think those are the only 2 examples of not being able to do something in order. And at this point, we're in 2020. the fact that the first game in the series did something doesn't mean that that is like what the identity of the franchise is at this point. We're so far in that the patterns that have emerged after Gen 1 and 2, I think are way a little bit heavier than... Let's see, can we actually heal up? There we go. I didn't pay attention to the game. I think I have to go here to walk off the Cosmog, right? I always want to... I hate these birds. True, but that pattern is better for replayability than holding your hand the entire game and artificial blockades. I mean... Gen 4... I mean, Gen 3, Gen 4, and Gen 5... all are way more linear than Gen 1 and 2. Yet they are still very replayable. The entire thing about Pokemon is that you can go through it again and end up with an entirely different kind of team. And the replayability comes from that a lot of the time. So just having the option to do gyms out of order. Ooh, we can actually... Oh, can we catch Poipole here? I think we can. Or Furfrou. You know what? I'll take that. I'll take a Furfrou. If anything, it fucks with the level curve a bit. And that is not what I would consider to like be the main cause of replayability. Personally. What? Okay. That's highly not okay. Let's go into Hoppy. At least we're getting another Furfrou. That went very well for it last time. I mean, the moment Furfrou died, everything just went to shit. If I recall correctly. So, surely, this Furfrou is going to lead us to victory, even though we only have one more stream after today of this, I do believe. Yeah, because the week after that we're going to get started with Crash 4, It's About Time. Which is about time, as it turns out. The main gimmick of the game is time-based superpower. Very excited for that game, honestly. I haven't pre-ordered the game, so I don't have the demo, which is kind of like the opposite of what a demo is. Because a demo is supposed to be something which you can play to demo the game before buying it. Having the demo as a pre-order bonus kind of like defeats the purpose of having a demo. So it's just a pre-order bonus at that point. But I don't have it because I haven't pre-ordered it. I'll just like buy it and download it the day it comes out. Because I don't care about the demo. And we'll probably be streaming that for a couple of days in a row. I don't know how I'm going to be doing that. I'm probably going to be playing a lot of that. So I might just finish that entire game in like 2 or 3 streams. And then we'll do the community run for the rest of that month. Or I might spread it out a little bit more and just do all the streams that month instead of the community run. Yeah, I don't know for sure yet. I mean, a crit was gonna probably kill me either way, even if I healed. So... I might have survived one attack. True. Might have survived one attack. If it was a crit. But I think he was almost doing 50% anyway. So, I don't know. So, you have Orfrou again. I think this is how we spelled it, right? Orfrou? I'm gonna go with Orfrou, just for good luck. Also, I really like the name Orthro. There's two names I liked from that series, and that's Yakdik and Orthro. I really like both of those names. Mostly Yakdik. I think Yakdik actually is a really fun name, just in general. Cosmog, you're gonna be the death of me. Almost literally. We have a fifth team member again. Now we just need one more to actually finish up our team. I think this is the end of this section, right? Is it? There's just a little dialogue here. Oh, there's one more fight. I guess I could have gotten another Pokemon from How. Wait. Wait. You have a Litten? I have a Litten. Oh! I saw your Litten. That's I thought Litten was my starter. I thought Litten was my starter and I got the Poipole. Not the Poipole. It is Poipole. Not Poipole. No. I'm mixing up Pokemon. Gen 7. Gen 7, 8, but not very well, like, settled in my mind yet. I stole your Litten. That's entirely correct. I forgot about that. I thought Litten was my starter because that's probably what I would have chosen because Litten is definitely the best design starter out of the three. Not necessarily for their evolutions, but just straight up Litten is the best. Poipole and Poplio is what I'm getting mixed up. I meant Poplio. Yeah, you're right. So, what is your moveset like? You pretty much only have Headbutt. Which isn't great. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not great. Oh, thanks for stopping by, and see you probably next week with the last time we're doing this. And then we might not be playing any Pokemon on stream for a while after next week, which would be weird. Also, next week will be on Sunday. I'll probably put it in Discord when the time comes for that. Double kick. Yeah, please. That's better than a scratch. But yeah, next week we'll be streaming on Sunday instead of Saturday due to me having to attend a birthday. And I was like, I can't really not go. So... who knows, maybe Sunday will end up being a better stream day anyway, and we might just like move it to the Sunday. I've been thinking about moving it from Saturday to Sunday anyway. Because that seems to be the more reasonable day to watch, like worldwide anyway, right? I don't know if that's true. Like, it's worth experimenting with a little bit, I guess. I feel like American viewers probably would have a better time like tuning in on Sunday than Saturday. Even though it's literally the same time. But for European viewers it shouldn't matter. If anything, Asian viewers might like not tune in on Sunday to Monday night. While they would on Saturday to Sunday night. But probably, I mean, it's like... at the time I'm streaming here, it's about 9 PM right now. I started at 8. Any, like, Asian viewers beyond, like... well, even the first time zone for Asia would be, like... plus 3 hours for me, I think. So, that would be midnight right now. It's actually not that unreasonable, because they could watch like the first half of the stream from 11 to 12. Maybe. And then when you like get to things like Japan, by the time I start streaming, it's like 4 AM in Japan. No Japanese people are going to be watching me live, either way. So... Let's see, where actually are we? So maybe next week, if Sunday ends up being a good day for streaming, we might just stick with the Sunday thing, because I feel like that might actually just work out, honestly. When do we evolve? I feel like by now we should have evolved. I thought that double kick was a sign that we were going to evolve. We didn't evolve. Where's our evolution? I need an evolution. Maybe by the time we get to the next Pokemon Center, I'll head out as well. Because it's been a long week, and it's, well, not really been a long day. It's been a pretty relaxed day, all things considered, actually. But I always, like, I don't mind talking to a microphone without anybody, like, being here to bounce off. But at that point, I might as well just be recording a Let's Play video. Right? Because at this point, it's just a Let's Play, which probably nobody's going to watch because it's a 2-hour video. Okay, so that's why we evolve. Makes perfect sense. To be fair, I don't have to edit these, which is amazing. And no matter what I'm going to do, my Pokemon series coming up, starting on Monday, still don't know what it is going to be. No matter what happens, I don't have to edit that either, because it's either going to be a solo run or a spin-off game, meaning that I don't have to do overlay editing, which is going to save me minutes per week of work. It's not so much that it's like a lot of work, it's mostly that it's tedious work. And I probably should just be designing my Photoshop templates a little bit better. I am fully aware of that. Oh, wait a second, can we... I think we already have the Kahuna fight. There's only one captain on this island. Is that true? That feels true. Then we certainly should wait for next week to do that, I feel. But let's see. Give this to probably to Lopunny. And let's see if we can find a Pokemon Center around here somewhere. I don't think there's actually a Pokemon Center around here. Oh yeah, no, never mind, there is. There is, down there. I can see it on the map. It's been about an hour. I feel like that's enough to call it a stream. The whole idea of streaming is that there's people to interact with, and if there's no people to interact with, I think that's a good sign to call it a day. We can't catch the Kahuna's Pokemon. Wait, did she say something about Terracat? Because do I have Pokeross? Something like that, maybe? No, I don't. Correct. Characteristics. Loves to eat. That's my Pokemon. Belongs way more with me than it does with you, how? Because... maybe just said that Torracat seems happy. I don't know. That's where we're going to leave it for today. Again, next week is going to be the last week, and we'll have made it off the first island, which is about what I expected. And after that, we're going to be playing some Crash Bandicoot, and after that, we're going to be playing some Kingdom Hearts rhythm game shenanigans. So looking forward to that. I am looking forward to having reactions to the developing story live on stream. Last time a Kingdom Hearts game was released, I played it in my own time, and to be fair, I did play like a lot of it. At times I shouldn't have been playing it. Kingdom Hearts 3, when I was when that came out, I was working an internship, and I played until like 3 AM one night. Because like, oh, we're going to the Keyleth Graveyard, surely this is going to be the final part of the game. It's going to be only another 2 or so hours of gameplay. And then I started it at about 11, I was like, I can do this. And then after the entire final world segment, and then they Like, there was a lot of cutscenes and yada yada yada. After the entire final world segment, the moment it gave me a save point, I was like, oh my god, it's 3 AM. What the fuck happened? I should go to sleep. And the next day I was not very productive, I can tell you. But all of those reactions weren't recorded because I wasn't doing YouTube at the time. So I'm looking forward to having those live on stream and potentially like being able to bounce like ideas about what the story implications are back and forth with a moving chat. That idea is really exciting to me. That being said, there might not be a lot of major story implications in Melody of Memories, but if there isn't, the game is entirely useless. So who fucking knows? I'll see you guys back next week. Until then, stay alive, I guess. 2020, so that's hard enough as is.